Okay.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Cricket Wana. This week, obviously, it's a IPL season. We'll just quickly review what transpired last week in IPL 2020 and what's going to happen um, for the next set of games next week. But in between, we are going to talk about a giant of an Indian cricketer, Anil Kumble. He is turning 50 tomorrow, 17th. So yeah, tomorrow in India. So happy birthday, Anil Kumble sir. And with that, we'd like to talk about him as a player for RCB as well as a successful mentorship with Mumbai, and then currently an interesting topic as a coach for Punjab. And then we will go, we'll start with the usual IPL review. We are halfway there now. We're actually 3 games into the second half. Things are getting interesting. But I must say personally, and I'll let Somo and Vinay talk about it, what started as a very even contest, and we thought, it will be very tough to make the playoffs, and all the teams have equal chances. You know, like we have seen in many seasons, like almost till the last week of IPL games, we will not know at least two, sometimes three qualifying teams. But this time, I might be wrong, but at this time, we can say pretty much the top four are locked. But we can talk about that also later. But Somo, I'll start with you. What was the standout performance of this week for you?
Oh, I mean, by far, AB's innings was probably he obviously played on a completely different wicket than rest of the batsmen. Honestly, that includes Virat Kohli as well. I tell you, the ball was stopping. It was not coming out of the bat. And everybody, in fact, one of the players, he completed the stroke and it hit, the back of the bat, and I mean, and he was completely batting in a completely different strip, in my opinion, Atharaita. But the timing, the execution of shots, and picking the ball at the spot where he picked, he was always coming forward. If you saw that, Adwando, and the shots were absolutely clean, well hit with the middle of the bat. I don't know. I mean, I have seen a lot of good innings from him in T20. By far, this was the best I have seen so far. I mean, honestly, and obviously both. I think that the reason he did well was because Kohli was on the other side, rotating the strike, which was very important. Because if anything dependent upon one person, always the burden is way too much, and he has to probably sneak a single on the fifth or the sixth ball. He didn't have to do that because Virat was on the other side. That made it little bit more easier. So
Yeah,
having said that, but again, that innings was probably I don't know. I don't think he can even
yeah,
repeat it again. So
I know. I mean,
let
KKR folded for 120, 130. The chase never took off, and even in RCB's batting, nobody really had you know full control of the innings, including Kohli. I mean, he was also struggling to find the boundary
struggling. Yeah.
in Sharjah. And then this guy comes out, and the second ball, he hits a bullet shot straight drive, which hits the stumps and still
Stumps
goes
and
to four.
still goes for four. I mean,
I know.
yeah, my
Ah,
goodness.
man, that was an amazing innings. Vinay,
And the couple of hits which went to the street and hit the cars there on the freeway. So,
so, actually, I wanted to ask about that too. ಇವಾಗ ಶಾರ್ಜಾ ನಾವು
hmm,
80s 90s ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, and it is the same stadium. Is it just the heavy bats and the batting style that we are
correct,
seeing?
correct.
Because I'm sure it was this small even before. It's not like it shrunk in size. So, um, what was happening to some of the? I mean, did Miandad or anybody used to hit sixes that would go to the streets?
It will go to the stand, Kano. Of course,
Yeah,
I have not watched it. I'm not
I
an
don't
expert on it.
remember
See,
anything going
what?
above.
No, the way I look at it as this, Kano, Iga, the quality of hitting has changed.
Yeah,
Bats have changed definitely. There's no question about it. But the way they approach hitting the ball, and
yeah,
but I think Nan Kelda, sorry, some people were talking about it. I was talking to one of the cricketers back in Bangalore. They're all told, all the young cricketers told, if you're going to hit with full force in the middle of the bat. Don't half-ass hitting. Allah,
yeah,
ಒಂಥರ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೆ ಏನೋ you're going to hit. You're going to hit ಅಷ್ಟೇ, please.
yeah. And
That's what
also,
it
I
is.
think the boundary percentage has definitely drastically improved.
Correct.
Like the number of balls per boundary is way less than what it used to be. And of course, this is T20 versus 80s and 90s ODI. The ODI itself has changed so much now. So but yeah, I remember in that Desert Storm game, Sachin Tendulkar in '98, couple of sixes went over the roof, and
Roof.
we saw the ball bouncing on the roof, and one got stuck in there, and one dropped back. But never have I seen any sixer going onto the streets like we
Yeah.
do now.
I don't know whether you noticed it, ಕಶ್ಯಪ್. ನಾನು ತುಂಬಾ ರಿಲಿಜಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ವಾಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಿಚನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ರೂಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ರೂಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ they know that the balls are going to be lost. It will never be retrieved. What they have, I believe, is ball between 1 and 3 overs, 3 and 10.
Yeah.
In fact, ಇವತ್ತೊಂದು ಬಾಲ್ ತಂದ್ರು. They had a bunch of balls
ರೆಡಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಹಂಗ ಆಚೆ ಹೋದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಸಿತಾರೆ.
yeah, they have that. And this today, he brought a whole set of 10 or 12 balls, and they picked one of them there. So that means Sharjah and Dubai, wherever they are playing right now, they all have balls coded a certain number of overs, and they have kept it.
Yeah.
So they can pick anything you want, or they throw one of them. It won't be very identical, but it's pretty much almost the same, assuming, ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅದು, because you cannot give a new ball anyway.
So what happens to? I mean, it's a risk. I mean, if they're going to play so many T20s in that Sharjah Stadium moving forward, I think they need to have some kind of cover so that it doesn't impact the traffic. I mean, what if it hits the car and causes some accident, or hits a biker or something like that? Is there some kind of an insurance?
I'm sure the Sharjah would have definitely an insurance.
Stadium or the IPL might be responsible to take care of them. But I mean, taking care is second part. But I mean, I think we need some way to, maybe a huge net or something so that
you remember that in the golf alley, when you're, driving range alley, they have heights up to 30, 40, 50, 60 feet.
Yeah.
What they can do is build a fence on top of the roof. That way it covers another 20, 30 feet.
Exactly. Like Dubai, right? I mean, Dubai, the ball will never go out for sure.
Ball Allah. But Sharjah is one of the probably, Abu Dhabi and Sharjah are probably the two ones. I think they have to do that, and they will do that, I guess, because or maybe they're waiting for something to happen. They
exactly.
Do it
I hope it doesn't come to that. And that was my concern. Every time I watch this, once actually ABD ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಗೆ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಹೊಡಿತು.
ಎರಡು ABD ಇದನ್ನು, ಒಂದು ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾನೆಟಿಗೆ ಬಿತ್ತು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೈಡ್ ಡೋರಿಗೆ ಬಿತ್ತು.
ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಐ ಸಾ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಟ್ವಿಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದು, ಇಟ್ ವೆಂಟ್ ವೈರಲ್. I think one of the families got hold of that ball. So there was a picture of I think she's like a 5-year-old kid, a girl. She is holding that ball, and he took a picture with her and the Sharjah Cricket Stadium entrance. Photo Twitter laki.
I think I saw one more. I think commentator was saying he in fact showed the shot. Sometime before, I guess it landed on the roof of his car and it made a dent. They showed that picture.
ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೆ, ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವನು ಐರ್ಲೆಂಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ಮನ್, ಯಾರೋ ಕರ್ನ್ಸ್, the one who blasted the fastest century in Bangalore World Cup. What is his name? Kevin O'Brien. O'Brien. He hit a sixer that actually smashed his own car, his own BMW glass. Some county game in England. So anyway, all right, let's go to.
What are the other outstanding performances in your opinion? You guys can say a couple of things.
Yeah, let's go to Vinay. I'll come to that. What was your standout performance of this week? What your?
I have two easy ones. One for sure. Because of recency bias, I can say that it was being a big fan for the last decade of Chris Gale in T20s. It was nice to see him have a good showing on his debut in the IPL this year, and coming back from his hospital visit and everything. And so it was good to see him succeed, get his half century, and also just for Kings 11 Punjab to get there. Get a victory, get some points on the board. Albeit it was against RCB, but it was they did well, and I really enjoyed his innings, and it's just exciting to see him back because it's there's so many reasons to keep him off the team, right? Like maybe there isn't room for him, or he doesn't field as well, or he doesn't run between the wickets. But if he hits like that, I think he needs to have a space in the 11, and who knows, maybe the universal boss being back is a tides turning for that team. So that's an easy one. I can say that was a highlight performance for me this morning.
Oh yeah, and Chris Gale, it's if there was anything missing in the entertainment factor from his batting, he covered it up with his post-match presentation, man.
Right.
Oh, you.
He was so funny.
Right.
He does not hesitate, to talk himself up, and the way. But I mean, he deserves that. I mean, it's not it never comes off as a just some empty boasting or any ego
He,
or anything like that.
he,
It was amazing. Yeah.
honestly, I don't know whether somebody's going to beat his 13,000 and odd runs at all. Kohli Gilly beat one of his closest. I don't think anybody will beat him.
No, calling him Madakala because see, Indian players they don't play any other leagues at all. People like Aditya Bravo has like 500
Wickets.
T20 wickets, and Rashid Khan is already 200 or 300, right? So
Yeah.
Indians, I mean, if you're just playing IPL and international, I don't think you cannot get into that kind of a record. But of course, yeah, I mean, you will be IPL giants. For me personally, I think just for the adaptability and the way he adjusted to the, we touched upon it last week. The skidding of the ball, and how the batsmen have to readjust to this season's IPL because of the dew or the lack of it and the skidding, and because you can also see that's why we are also seeing a lot more accidental beamers, because you can't really hold the ball that much anymore. I think I would like to rate Kohli's innings against CSK as one of the best T20, like the gradual the steady increase.
Acceleration of the innings.
Yeah, amazing. The increase in acceleration and the way he controlled the innings. Yeah, I mean, it felt sometimes that, oh, why is it so slow? But I mean, I think it now you can see, like the way others batted, you can see that it didn't really call for that kind of a you cannot really go hell for leather every over. But man, that acceleration was yeah.
Talking about the slowness of the wicket, how did Virat Kohli got out today? Did you see that? He pulled it and wicketkeeper catch it.
Yeah,
he had completed the shot
soon.
almost, and Rahul takes a catch. I mean, imagine that. So that's the wicket for you.
Yeah, he was too early into that. And speaking of that same game, I think we have a couple of things to talk about today's game, and then it gives a good segue into Anil Kumble as well. Two things about this game. One, ABD at 6.
I heard Virat Kohli's explanation.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was not acceptable to me at all, because you win and lose with your best.
Yes.
Okay. Left hand. You know what? The way he hit in the last play, it didn't matter where anybody bowled him.
Exactly.
There was something more to it than that, but obviously, I cannot sit here and say, because it's not fair.
Exactly.
Because
I think it was left and right, and also his ABD has a very poor record against leg spin, and because of the turn they were having, and you can see Virat Kohli was suggesting to the leg spin, did you look at the spin?
Correct.
It was so wide, and leg spin. He was excited and showing to Chahal that you are on next innings, right? I mean, so he was in it, but I mean, unfortunately, Chahal couldn't in cash, because I think for the first time RCB went bowled all 6 overs of power play without taking a single wicket for the first time in the season, I think. which also contributed. So ABD at 6, it could have been a great move if Sundar and Dubey, who came in as a left-hander replacement for ABD earlier, had even shown the intent of attacking the spinners. Right? They didn't even do that. Yes, Dubey hit a 6 later, much later.
Yeah, he got 2 sixers later
Over
in the
number
innings.
14 or 15, but then some, over 7 to 14, we didn't see any boundary at all, not even by Kohli.
Right.
So that was a little bit of a bizarre move, but
Let me add one more thing, Guru. I
Yeah.
understand coming at 6. Forget about what number he came in. Okay.
yeah,
What was the number of overs is what you're looking at it, not when he came. 6, 8, 10, I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay. 18ನೇ ಓವರ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ it doesn't. There is no way he could hit from the first ball. He could probably, but knowing AB, he could. But you were behind the 8 ball every time because they wanted 170 as they even Kohli said 170 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋಣ ನಂಬರ್ ಅದು.
170 was not bad actually.
170 was not even close at the time when Sundar came or Dubey came.
Morris ಬಂದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಓವರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 25 ರನ್ ಹೊಡಿಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ I mean they were 147 at the end of 19 overs. So I mean it was below par.
Totally below par.
Morris ಬಂದಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಯ್ತು, but 170, in the end you can say I'll take 170 anytime.
That's what they said. 170 was a plausible score.
You can see came to the last ball.
In a situation like that, ಇವತ್ತು 170 ಬರಲೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, 162 ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. But assuming that was a number, and Sundar coming, I get it. Left-hander banda, but that failed. Technically, it failed. Then I think he should have come. Dubey illa. But if you're let's say if you're talking about another good batsman, for example, I'm just going to Vijay Shankar. I'm naming a name. He's not in the team. Isn't it? ಆ ಥರ batsman ಆದ್ರೆ, I don't want to take chance with him. I'll take a chance with a left-hander who's good enough ಅಂತ. But if you're talking ABD, that's where I kind of I lost it.
I know, because I mean it and again it was Sharjah, right? So I mean even miss hits will go for 6 if ABD actually goes with that intent. So I mean you don't have to hit the cars to get 6 runs. I mean it can just cross the rope and that's enough. Just like Puran did in the last ball, right? I mean it was
Rahul got a 6. It hit the board on the just hit the rope actually.
Just the padding,
ಆ Z ಹೋಯ್ತು, ಆ Z ಒಳಗೋಯ್ತು, ಅದರಿಂದ 6 ಕೊಟ್ರು, ಇಲ್ದರೆ 6 ಅನುಮಾನ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. So I think there is something more to it than what it is, or maybe they totally miscalculated.
I know.
The other thing that I would bring up is, we talked about Washington Sundar. He came into bat and everything, but also I think the bowling was questionable too. Like he's done so well in the power play for the entire season. For 5-6 matches now, he's been our best power play bowler, probably the best power play bowler in the whole entire IPL. And for some reason, they didn't use him at all. And
you know why? Again, it was a backfired decision because they wanted to hold him back till Chris Gayle comes in and Puran, because the two left-handers, they thought, yes, I mean, he has been a successful power play bowler, but this was against like the established Indian capped openers in Rahul and Mayank. And so they didn't really feel the percentage was good enough to have Sundar against them. And I thought, I think they were hoping that with Gayle and Puran, two left-handers, especially West Indians, it was a no-brainer to hold back the spinner for them. But I mean, it didn't work out, unfortunately. But I'm okay with that move. But hopefully, at least Saini or Morris could have got at least 1 wicket, so that the left-hander would have come in early. But I mean, by the time Agarwal was out, I think the match was pretty much over.
Yeah, you know what? I tell you, they batted beautifully.
Very good. Yeah.
They will, ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳಂಗೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. I mean, they just cruise along, and phenomenal batting. And and he comes in, he plays 13 balls for 9 runs or 7 runs or something like that. So what is happening to this guy? Once he unleashed.
I expected that. I mean, you keep Gayle for 10 balls, that's it. If you want to see his back, get him out within the first 10 balls. And he can be 0 of 10 balls. He will be 50 from 35. Amazing.
But who did they drop? You were Who did they drop? They foreigner, right?
Who was that? Cottrell.
Oh, Carter was not there. You're right.
Cottrell badlu wait a minute. But yeah, Cottrell badlu Jordan idda.
Jordan last week, last month,
Mujib spinner. Mujib badlu
Oh, Mujib, okay.
Yeah.
You know what? This is a good,
he's injured. So
yeah. You know what? I think it's a good move on their part. I think this 11 is pretty good.
I know. I still feel like if Cottrell is fit, they should get him and drop Maxwell and get either just an Indian batsman like Sarfraz or somebody and go with it. Maxwell.
Look, I mean, I'm not defending Maxwell, but he bowled 4 good overs this morning.
Agreed. Yeah.
And also fielding is phenomenal. He'll save you 20 runs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, one game he will surely come in. He'll probably saved himself against hopefully against Mumbai or Chennai, and he'll blast them off. All right, one other topic on today's game again, because I don't see any other interesting topic on other games, with due respect, but with the chase going so smoothly, what happened between Gale and Rahul in last 3 overs?
I know.
Oh.
I think it's just the Kings 11 curse. I think that's the only thing to.
Yeah, I think they've forgotten the way to win. So it was. I think they were not really confident, and so we can see how Rahul was tentative and wanted to anchor all the way because I think that recent scar was still fresh from that Kolkata chase.
Yeah, look, he lost the game last week. Yes. There's no question about it.
Yes.
He lost the game. I can, but he didn't want to repeat it again because now he's going to be tagged. So I think that's what happened.
You can see his relief. The last ball on Puran 6 order, Rahul was just on his knees. He was relieved.
The other thing was, they thought they will get a hit somehow, somewhere in that 9, 10, 11, 12 balls.
Yeah.
It never happened, though.
Never happened. Yeah.
It never happened. I mean, scary as it is. Oh my goodness. I mean, for a viewer, when like you and I, it was great. I'm glad. I was rooting for them anyway. So,
yeah.
But I'm good.
Okay. So, with that, we can move to Anil Kumble and IPL, being the Punjab coach. So, let me start with this. He had a phenomenal year as a coach for India as well. And before that, he had a successful stint as a mentor for MI. I mean, I don't know what the job description for a mentor is when you have a batting coach and a fielding coach and a bowling coach and any other coach, especially with MI deep pockets. Yeah, they can have 25 different coaches. But I mean, yeah, he was there for 13, 14 and 2013 to 15, where they won 2 titles.
Two titles, yeah.
Yeah, 2 titles, and plus Champions League as well. And then, 2016 and 17, he was the head coach of India. They pretty almost whitewashed England 4-0, that famous Karun Nayar's triple century. They came back after losing the first game in Pune to Australia and won the series 2-1. That was a fantastic test series. What happened is kind of unknown between Kohli and Kumble.
I mean, do you guys know what even happened at all?
No, it's just that when the cricket committee offered him an extension in 2017 with a footnote saying, hey, the captain Kohli is not too happy, and he had some reservations, but we are still we can still proceed with your coaching stint. That's when he came back and tweeted the very next day and said, I'm thankful for this offer, but I just learned that our captain is not happy, and this has turned, the relationship has been untenable, and I would like to sweetly decline and step away as as the coach. So it was only 1 year, great year, of course, albeit it was all home series, but nonetheless. So again, nothing much was discussed. Neither Kumble nor Kohli ever talked about it. What happened in dressing room stayed in dressing room, I guess, until one of them writes a book. I guess, I don't know. Um, with that, Kumble being the head coach, I must say he's the only Indian head coach of an IPL team this year.
Mm-hmm.
All the other 7 teams have a foreign coach. There were great expectations. They did great in auctions as well. It was it still is a great team. They have some amazing hitters. Obviously, the best opening pair, some good spinners, good fast bowlers, good death bowlers in Jordan and who's that? Arshdeep. What's happening? So there should be something in his style of work that Kohli caught it. Is it that we are now seeing with Punjab team, or is it just a coincidence? What's really happening? Anyone? I don't have an answer, but yeah, I mean, I'll just throw it up there.
No, but Vinay has something maybe.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's hard. Like, I think it's a little bit of a stretch because there's so many degrees removed here, right? I think what you're talking about is Kings 11's performance. Obviously, it's the players that go out and play, not the coach. And then, maybe the coach influences some of the decisions taken and things, right? I think maybe there's an argument to be had if they were just an abominable team and just doing completely terrible. But I think, to be completely fair, they're at the bottom of the table, but they're not playing like they're in the bottom of the table. If you think about it, at least 3 of their losses should have been wins. This should be a team that was in the middle of the pack or something. They should have about, I would say, 8 points or so, not 2 or 4, maybe even 10 points.
Yeah.
And I just think certain things didn't go in their favor, right? Like just a unfortunate collapse during a chase, an unfortunate turn of events during a super over, like all of this stuff adds up and it gets really minuscule, right? It could just be a ball here or there, an over here or there, a wicket here and there. That's just tarnished their season. And personally, I think it's a stretch to go and blame certain players, and even past that, go blame a coach. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know too much about Kumble's coaching style, other than the fact that he's probably more of a disciplinarian. He's probably a little bit more about professionalism, and he's a little bit more old school, I guess, in his ways and his persona, tactics, and all that. I personally I find it hard to draw a connection between that and then Kings 11's performance, especially when the runs and the wickets and the wins and losses speak for themselves. I think it's more just bad luck, to be honest, in Punjab's part.
Possible. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have all the other records in there except for the points. It's actually a team to follow, team to watch this season. Mm-hmm. Except for the points table, they're everywhere. And they're giving some exciting games. Of course, whether they win or lose, there are some amazing stars that you can actually follow and like. They have 2 orange cappers, right? I mean, the top 2 orange cap list is belongs to them. Yeah, it's kind of a bizarre thing, but I mean, but to your point, that actually adds to that. I mean, whether you call it blame or whatever, but yes, I mean, if it was a mediocre team, then yeah, I can understand. I mean, even the greatest coach will not be able to do much. But when you have such a team, and then you see some subtle moves and decisions that have been bizarre, like not sending Mayank in super over, or
right.
This shuffling batting orders and
one other thing to add would be, Maxwell's comment saying he doesn't really know his role on the team.
Exactly. Yeah. So his role has been. I think he's being considered as a floater. They think he can be number 3 or 6 depending on the situation or the score. They have bowlers in their team who don't bowl their full quota sometimes, even though they had a good spell. So Avag Nordaga, I mean, is it just Rahul's captaincy or Kumble's coaching or both or something else?
In my opinion, it's a 3-prong. They lost 2 for sure games they should have won. Cottrell's 30 runs, never expected. Okay. then it really rumbled their whole plan. Then that super over, they played horribly bad.
Yeah.
So that happened in the first 2 or 3 games, right?
Yeah.
So now, when what happens is when they're in a position where they could win with some exciting bowling or batting or whatever, they're failing because there's a confidence level that's not there.
Yeah.
Is it because
fear of failure,
Rahul is not going there and talking to these people? I don't know that. Or Kumble has said something to Rahul, which he is doing. I don't know that either. Having said that, they're not able to finish. Okay. They're able to start a great one. They're unable to finish in out of the, I think of the 4-5 games they have lost now. I think 3 games they should have easily won, not lost, easily won.
Yeah.
It was their game to lose, and they lost it. So, the other thing, what I'm thinking is obviously with Rahul's again, it's good. The openers are playing great. They're hitting runs. They're getting runs in the earlier overs, and they're kind of slowly consolidating the position. 12-13 over ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ 2ನೇ ವಿಕೆಟ್ ಬಿದ್ದೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Then to somebody to come and bring the pace back, it's difficult because they've never done that. Because it's always as good as the opening batsmen are very good. It's great. In a way, it's bad because the lower order is not getting the ability to go and hit at 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th over. They're getting at 15th, 16th. Then you're forced to hit something. And you know what? It's not always going to happen.
Exactly. Not everyone is Hardik Pandya or Pollard.
Correct.
And so in that way, MI is, Mumbai Indians are the most blessed team, or lucky team, or maybe the most practical team.
In fact, I still thought Gale should come as an opener. I still think. You know why? Because first 6 overs, missed hits are 6 for him anyway. 6 or 4 guaranteed on them. Okay. He probably will get a lot more runs in the earlier, and also he'll get out too. That's a good thing. Because people in the latter one can come and get to see 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th overs.
Yeah.
So they can get a feel of what's going on there. Because when Maxwell comes in the 16th over, you expect him to hit. And also at that time, the ball is older. Okay. Ball is not coming to the bat.
Yeah.
And after pitches, it's slowing down. It's skidding. So these are all the things that is happening, which you cannot see from a standpoint of a spectator sitting down there.
Yeah.
And if you're there in the middle, then wait a minute. I went to the 16th over. It was skidding. I couldn't get hold of the ball at all because he has not felt the pace of the wicket, where it's coming, how it's coming. It happens all the time. So these are all the little things that's happening. As beautiful as the opening partnership is, it's a curse in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think Rahul has taken up that anchor role too deep and too seriously. That is kind of harming the team sometimes. I think if like the first game against RCB, the way he was just going bonkers, I think, and that's how he plays for India many times. And whenever he does that, it's great for the team as well and to watch him as well. So it might be great for Rahul to come at 3, so that he doesn't have that block to to save his wicket, and in the power play or whatever, he just comes in after 6 or 8 overs and just starts hitting like.
Look, whoever comes with Chris Gale, I don't care. I mean, I prefer Rahul, but again, why I'm telling Chris is, ಅವ್ನು ಮಿಸ್ ಹಿಟ್ಸ್ ಒಂದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವ್ನು 30 ರನ್ ನಿಂಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ ಕಣೋ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 5 ಓವರ್ಲಿ. ಇಫ್ ಹಿ ಹಿಟ್ಸ್ 30 ರನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ 5 ಜನ ಫೀಲ್ಡರ್ ಒಳಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, 6 ಜನ ಒಳಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, so I don't know. That is one thing that's happening at that, and also the decisions they're making, shuffling the batting order. There is no consistency, as he said. I don't know the role. He may not know the role. So the little things. None of the single decisions are bad.
Yeah.
When you combine that, one here, one there, one here, one there, is bringing the team down, in my opinion. Yeah. But they're still able to win some of the good games, and the performances are not pathetic performances.
No,
it's close games, Ellana. That's what I think.
One thing I'll add to this whole conundrum that I think Rahul is going through, right? Because rewinding back, I think the argument is that he can't trust his middle order. That's why he's batting deeper, and that's why he's going
Yeah.
To continue that logic, right? And this is things I've been reading, but again, I didn't follow close enough during these years to really understand. And maybe you guys have something to add, but there are certain people also saying on the fringes, one of the things, obviously, this burden is weighing a lot on Rahul, and that's why he's not able to perform, right? But I think another thing, to relate it back to Kumble and stuff, they are also saying a lot of this pressure can also be alleviated if Kings 11 management kind of is more positive, and they kind of instill in him that the burden is not on him, because what people are saying is that Kings 11 Punjab specifically as a franchise in the past has put a lot of blame and fault and burden on the captains from
Yes.
I would say Ashwin,
Yuvraj, from
Yuvraj
Yuvraj
Singh,
and Bailey,
exactly. All of these players, they've always put so much on. These three, Ashwin, Yuvi, and Bailey. Maybe that is just this thing in the dressing room that maybe, I don't know if Rahul is being actually put that kind of pressure on him, or if it's just this aura he knows historically that the franchise has. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's also just some pressure he's putting on himself, knowing he could also be the future of Indian cricket, and this is one of the times that he can show himself in a captaincy position.
He
outside
was
of
kind
Rohit
of hyped
and
on that
Virat.
too. I think he got that pressure got to him as well, because there were even Sunil Gavaskar mentioned at the beginning of the IPL and saying it's a great opportunity for Rahul. I think he will be a great captain, and we are looking at the future captain. It's easy because Rohit and Kohli are the contemporaries, and I don't know how long how long Rohit can be a captain, even if if it's passed from Kohli. If not, he's a we have Rahul as the next successor for Kohli, and he can be made the vice captain. So there was all these hype, and of course with Kumble there, maga Adaman in captain, so there is that camaraderie there as well, which is probably adding more pressure.
Which should hopefully be more positive and a little bit taking the pressure away. Maybe Kumble can do a good job by, making him feel at ease and letting him express himself and everything, right? Like
the way to build this again, in ಎರಡು game ನೋಡಬಹುದು. If they lose it, then their season is shot.
They're broken already.
Okay, they're shot.
Unless Gale
really, what they should do is, in 5-6 game ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಇನ್ನು. Okay, let's assume for a minute they lose 2, okay, and they have no shot at coming back.
No.
Last 4 games, they have to do things to build the team for next year.
Yeah.
Okay, should be the focus. Period. They're gonna. Who cares? They lose. They lose. It doesn't matter. Okay.
Well, they can. See many teams. We have seen in the past too. Some teams who are out of contention can still impact, and they can still be the party poopers. By beating some other
beating Delhi
team in the middle, Mumbai. That will be that would be requiring that additional 2 points to qualify. They can make a difference between for other team to be either coming 4th or 5th. Sometimes we have seen teams doing that.
And the other thing which I'm seeing is Cottrell is obviously is not. Shami, which first year game ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬೌಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ. ಇವತ್ತು he bowled 3 overs. Last over is a disaster. I would never expect Shami to bowl that kind of an over. Today's
Twitter ಅಲ್ಲಿ there will be some days ಈ ತರದ ಆದಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ Shami travels ಅಂತ, because he can really travel a lot in the
really I was surprised by it. I think that's what's happening. I think that's the one thing which I've always oh my goodness ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. So I think there are
ರೋಲ್ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೋಲ್ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ದಲೆ. And you can expect that too. I mean, even Kumble as a bowler, he was not the greatest fielder in the team, but you can see what he expected from all the other 10 guys, and you can see. So what I'm saying, I mean, it's nothing wrong. Yes, I mean, it's okay to feel bad when my teammate doesn't do well, even though he's better than me, and that's totally fine. But what I'm saying is, you can at least get into his mentality and see that I mean, he is a perfectionist, and he will not settle for anything mediocre. Sometimes he's probably pushing and expecting a lot, where that fun element is gone, which is huge in an IPL expedition, because you're all close knit. You're just 25 men, staying together for 6 weeks, and especially with the biosecure bubble this year, that might be play a huge impact as well when you're not really into that. If you cannot let your hair down and have that fun thing outside the ground, it may not be
Yeah.
beneficial, right? So
Yeah, there's a, Hernal, there is not one thing, it's a
yeah,
multiple things
things.
that's causing it. And I think if, again, I can guarantee you the first game they lost in the Super Over, if they had won the game, that would have changed
Yes,
the score from,
absolutely.
5-3, to what, 6-2 to
Two six.
probably
Yeah,
4-4 or whatever.
exactly. Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree. I totally
that,
agree. I mean, yeah, it
that was
was
one
high
thing.
expectation. At the end of 19 overs, Delhi was what, 105 or something?
Yeah.
And then, they gave away 30 runs in the 20th over. And then they came back from 50 for 5 to score one of three balls.
Yeah.
And then they bottled it, right? So I mean, back to Vinay, in point, I think that's where RCB, Punjab, and Delhi was suffering all the time, because they were so used to losing
Mhm.
that sometimes when they are in a better position, it's well, what do they call, it's an unfamiliar territory sometimes,
Mhm.
and they don't know exactly how to just close it and just go for the jugular and move on. So
He-
in that way, I think Delhi is a completely different team. I mean, even last year too. I mean, so because the management changed, the coaching team changed,
Yep.
they revamped the whole team. So and and good for them, they renamed it so that they don't have any baggage at all.
Right.
So DD became DC,
Mhm.
and look how they're performing. And look at the last couple of games, including that super over. I mean, we are only looking at Punjab's point of view, but look at Delhi, and you can then say, wow, they were 105 in 9. The same story can be said in an exciting way if you are a Delhi fan,
Mhm.
and say, wow, they were only 105 from 19 overs. Then they smashed that 30 runs in the 20th, and Punjab was cruising, and they bowled that amazing 20th over again and went into super over. So, and even last game, right, Rajasthan,
Yeah.
they were chasing 160. They were 85 for 1 in 10 overs. So they were already
Right.
more than half, and after 10 overs. No way you can lose that.
They needed 39 off 30 balls. It was
Exactly. And so look
absurd, and they
how
pulled it
they
back.
came back. So Delhi has that thing now, just like Mumbai and CSK used to have. I mean,
Yep.
they still have it last many years. So Delhi is now, you can say, a potential, champion in
yeah.
the making.
They have that mental edge for
They
sure.
have that. They
That
know how to win now, which is a big thing when it gets close. I mean, that's where you draw the line between average and great teams, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Look,
every team wins games, but when can you come back from unwinnable situations
yeah. The
and
same thing has happened to Bangalore. Munche ಎಲ್ಲ Kohli AB. There was no other
yeah,
team. Nobody was. So if they failed, they failed. And
yes,
also, 180 ball ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ now with
yeah,
Finch and Padikkal in the top order,
yes.
okay, and AB with they
And
can,
Saini, Sundar, Morris, yeah,
yeah,
this team is good too.
Sundar and Saini and Morris. I'll tell you, the Morris has given 50% of the winning. ಇವತ್ತು ನೋಡು
Yeah,
24 ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಹೊಡೆದ, and he got 2 wickets, crucial wickets, and
yeah,
he blocked the runs completely.
yeah,
So that guy in 2 games, he's worth the $10 million they're giving him, whatever,
exactly.
10 crores or whatever he's giving.
Actually, you know what? This can actually open up that decision making. Back to sorry, I'm jumbled up the words. RCB ಇವತ್ತು ABD ನ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ reason was also Morris never batted until today, right? For RCB, we know he has done well for Delhi, 2 years back as a slogger. So that was also playing in their heads that because they have already tried that. Sundar was not performing in the death overs, and you didn't know how Morris will bat. So they wanted ABD for those last 4 overs where it will be mostly pace then spin, obviously. So it was a good percentage call. Yeah, it didn't work out, but now that they know Morris and even Udana can hit
Yeah.
the death overs, they will probably never repeat pushing down ABD anymore, because now they can play freely and say, yes, Kohli and ABD at 3-4, we have Morris and Sundar, Morris and Dubey at 6 and 7 who can take care of the death
And
most
it's
of the
good
time.
to
not
learn
every
these
game.
things now and have it ready for the playoffs, right? You don't want to learn
Exactly.
these things
So
there. You want to make these mistakes now so that you have a solidified order and a
exactly.
solidified team
I mean,
and a
not
mentality
only
and a plan.
Morris can bowl and bat, he's a brilliant
Oh,
fielder.
brilliant fielder. Yeah. So
Brilliant.
today's loss is not
It's not bad.
such a bad thing for RCB.
It's a good
No.
learning experience.
There's not. No.
Yeah.
In fact, the whoever supposed to performed. I mean, ABD
Yeah.
forget about it. Every rest of the team performed.
Yeah.
But obviously the Punjab had a better day today
Yeah.
because of Rahul's batting, and Chris Gale comes in and changes the
I
complexion.
know. Yeah.
It's over. Party is over after when he starts hitting. I don't think anybody can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think that's a good. So yeah, and we got 10 more minutes. Indian are at
Yeah.
okay.
Because we were talking about Kumble, I would like to also talk a little bit about some of the happy memories of Kumble and IPL.
Mhm.
As an RCB player, yes, we can erase 2008, the first edition. But then in 2009, I must add, Kevin Peterson was asked to captain because it was also in South Africa, and he was the upcoming English player who was originally from South Africa. They went with him, and RCB lost 4 of the first 5 games. And then, fortunately for RCB, Peterson had to leave for England duty. And Kumble took over the captaincy for the first time, and they ended up winning 7 out of the next 9 to make it to the playoffs, win the semi-final with Kumble opening, and I think he got Hayden and I think 3 for 20 or whatever. And in finals too, he again opened, got Gilchrist for duck in the first over. He was he was the man of the match. I think he's the only guy who won the man of the match from a losing team in a final, because his spell was 4 for 16.
Oh wow.
4 for 16. RCB lost by 6 runs. And in the same edition, the first game that the RCB won before losing the next 4, they shot out the defending champions Rajasthan Royals for 58 all out. Where Kumble's 5 for 5 is still the best bowling score.
Wow.
5 for 5 from 3.4 overs. It's still the best spell. And he is still, even today, the second most economical bowler in IPL history.
Wow, I didn't know that.
6.57. He's played 42 games and his economy is 6.57. And no points in for guessing who's the most economical. It's Rashid Khan.
Rashid Khan.
Just by 0.1, I think.
Yeah.
But
that year, 2009, was also he almost won the purple cap, right? He had the second or third most amount of wickets.
I think so. Yeah.
21 or something. He was amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, and that was in South Africa. And you should see, I mean, his captaincy, I mean, again, just for his touch upon his captaincy, yes, I mean, he was a phenomenal captain actually for IPL as well as for India in a short stint. I mean, more than the games and the results, I will respect Kumble for the way he handled Sydney Gate. As a captain, I think he was the best placed, he was best place to be as a captain during that controversy, that Monkey Gate or Sydney Gate, and
right.
Call it Buckner Gate. Every gates were in there, so he handled it excellent. I mean, his line, only one team was playing the game of cricket, is one of the memorable lines. But yeah, I mean, so RCB, even in 2010, they made it to playoffs. He was the captain again, and in 2011. He retired. He mentored RCB, and they reached the final again. And 13 and 15, of course, MI won it. So there's something in him. I'm sure he has some great ideas, and he's definitely a good captain. I don't know what transpired between him and Kohli. It's very unfortunate. But yeah. Amazing memories as an RCB player for Kumble as well. They also reached Champions League final again, which they lost to Mumbai the same year. So he's been a phenomenal player for Bangalore as well.
I want to share one personal thing about Kumble.
Yes, please.
World Cup South Africa. I went there. ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಶೇಖರ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. he lives in Nashville, Tennessee. He's a psychiatrist, a good friend of mine. ನಾನು ಅವನು ಹೋದ್ವಿ. I made the longest flight in the world, Atlanta, Johannesburg, 18 hours, longest. Anyway, having said that, Alinda Johannesburg in the Durban go there. Durban only first game England. We won the game. Rahul got a beautiful 60 and whatever. And Belage, I know Kumble, but I don't think I know him that well. How are you so much? But I don't think he'll remember if somebody asks me. But Shekri was my friend. He knows him really, really well. What happened? We went to he knew that we were going. Hotel ಹೋದ್ವಿ. He said, hey, grounding ಬಂಡ್ರು ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ವಿ. He took us in a separate elevator because there jana. I'll tell you, South Africa, everybody is an Indian there again anyway. Durban hotel in the ground, it's technically you can walk. But obviously now we went there. We went to the topmost floor, wherever they were. Indian team complete. Ellaru idru. Captained by Saurav Ganguly at that time, Dravid, every Kumble, name him. Except Sachin Tendulkar would not come out for breakfast. And I and Shekhar, my friend Chandrasekhar, had breakfast with the Indian team. It was beautiful. Everybody. And, I still see Nayan Mongyala, Innobba Idanappa, some other cricketer. He cannot speak a word of English, unfortunately.
Dinesh Mongia.
Mongia, yeah. So left arm, whatever that is. So I think we spent from probably say 9 o'clock to 12 we're back. The game was at 4 o'clock, something like that, a day and night game, 50 over, yeah. Then he told us, hey, Bandra, kelage hogana, bussale hotogana anta. For security reasons, they won't allow us in the bus. And then we went to the ground walking. It was just a 5-minute walk across the street. He led us into the field too, Napa. So Indian players were, scrimmage. They were not practicing, but they were kind of warming up. We were there. I think I spent from maybe 9 a.m. to maybe 3 o'clock or 3:15 because the game was started 4 o'clock. I was with the entire Indian team. I tell you, he took us and he was very nice, very helpful. And he spoke to us. And also, adadmelu ashte sikta Joburg bandro alli meet ಮಾಡಣ ಅದು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಇದು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ. Then that's when I saw the India-Pakistan game where Sachin got his first sixer at Shoaib Akhtarge. I don't know whether you guys remember that.
Oh yeah,
brilliant innings.
That was my birthday. I'll never.
Oh yeah, that's the innings I saw. And 98. I saw all these Hollywood Bollywood stars. Ellaru bandidrappa. We were sitting together only. Wow. That was crazy, though. So Anil Kumble helped us to go to the Indian dressing room and breakfast. This dressing room, it was a breakfast area. And mingled with everybody for 2.5, 3 hours. It was such a beautiful thing. I have never, I tell you, that was the best thing. I should thank Anil Kumble for that, me and Shekhar. And after that, an friend of Chandrasekhar, he went to Melbourne. Every time in India he followed, and he spent a lot more time. When I was younger, and obviously there was financial issues.
Why Vinay?
Not only that, the financial issues were too expensive for me at that time to do those. He obviously invited me. I could go to England. I could go to Australia too, but I did not for whatever reason. He went and he enjoyed it, and I tell you, that was beautiful. So that was my Anil Kumble story for you.
Not to rub salt for both of you, but you two should have been in Australia by now.
I know.
Yeah,
that's true. That we were going next week.
Next week, you would have been gone.
Had amazing
T20 World Cup. It would have started what?
We had 2
games. It already started a month ago, or no, 2 weeks ago, I think, right?
2 weeks ago. We had 2 preliminary games on the same day. If you can buy one ticket, you could see.
Sorry to remind you that. But
I know.
And then semi-finals and finals.
And finals on 15th in Melbourne. We would have been there by now. Whatever.
Sorry about that.
But that was I just thought I'd share with that with you. Kumble is probably more important.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Like I said, it's he has made us all proud many times as an India player, as an India captain, and RCB player. Yeah, Kumble is a huge topic. We'll definitely revisit Anil Kumble again after the IPL is over. Maybe we we can talk about his test exploits and captaincy and Hero Cup and all those other amazing innings. Boy, getting Lara's wicket with a head bandage, and there's so many things to talk about.
Yeah.
Anil.
And the other thing which I think is, from a standpoint of personally though, nicest human being, and he was a great cricketer by the time I saw him. I mean, he was the best leg spin bowler that's ever there. And he didn't make us feel anything than another friend that I go, I would talk to, like I talk to you, Atara Hange. That's how it was. And
My
it was
only
very
experience,
genuine.
face-to-face experience ಆಗಿರೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ in Bangalore passport office. In 2000, 2000 October or something. I guess when I went to apply for my passport, I saw him getting out of the car and walking. He and his family was in there, and but yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't talk to him, of course, but yeah, I mean, that's the only time I've seen him.
Yeah, I know with the cricket exploits, everybody knows, but from a personal standpoint, he couldn't have been nicer to us at all. It's not like he should have.
Hopefully this video reaches Anil Kumble, and he can also remember and leave a comment and say, "Oh yes, so. Somo, I know you, Somo."
Yeah, I remember. Whatever. It was nice. It was nice of him to do that. I tell you, no, not too many people can do that, Madala. It becomes very difficult, in a circumstance like that, with the Tendulkars and the Gangulis and the Dravids along with that. It becomes very difficult. But he did that, and that I would remember for the rest of my life what he did for us, and that was great. And personally, if he ever listens to this, I have to thank him, Ashton.
All right, Anil Kumble. All right, that. We are right on time, 7:30 now. So back to my usual conclusion procedure, starting with Somo again. You can see from the table, as we know, it's DC, MI, RCB, and KKR at top 4 right now, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to repeat all 4, but I would. Let me ask a question with a twist. Do you think, the orders might change. Do you think there's any chance for any other team to make it to this 4, or is this top 4 locked?
No, nothing is locked. I tell you. Okay. Yeah. I think the locked and the Kerlebeku and DD and MI bitter, I don't think anybody else is locked, in my opinion. Okay. It could be anybody's game. Unless they really second half they do so badly, which I don't think. But it could be anybody. So, having said that, there are 2. Is it Calcutta, Chennai, or RCB? I think they can rotate depending upon a good day or a bad day. It could be any 2 of the 3, in my opinion. As this could change next Thursday. By next Thursday, things could have changed tremendously.
It's all about what's happening. What's the condition today.
I would say,
So
I would give an RCB a better chance than what I gave them last week.
That's a big call. That's a good call, actually. In spite of today's loss, so possibly no chance to the bottom 3. That's Hyderabad, Rajasthan, and Punjab. But things can change. Of course, nothing's written in stone.
With Ben Stokes coming in, RR could do something. So you never know.
Hopefully they can start winning after this Saturday's game against RCB. But
everybody has 6 games. That's a significant number of games to make any changes. So
any team that can win all 6 are in.
No, I echo everything that you guys are saying. I think the top 2, maybe top 3, they're locked. Top 2, I think, are locked. But after that, it's fair game. I think, there's so many, there's 3 or 4 teams with 6 points now. So it's who's going to break out of the pack, right? And I think with Ben Stokes coming back, RR has a chance. CSK, you always have to give them a chance with, Dhoni and captaining and all that. Hyderabad is honestly surprising me. I thought their stock would keep tanking with Bhuvneshwar Kumar gone, but they've won a couple of matches and they might keep going, especially with that opening pair that they have. KKR is KKR. They're going to stay probably. I think everybody has a shot, honestly, to make that number 4 slot between RCB all the way down to whoever the last place is, except for Punjab. I think Punjab is done. But again, you never know. I think it's wide open. I think the top two are solidified. Top three maybe, but I think number four is really up in the air. I think it's anybody's game.
Who's your number three? KKR or CB?
I think my number three is still RCB.
RCB. Yeah.
So after that, I think it's
Yeah.
up in the air.
For me, yes. I mean, as much as I'd like to see, I definitely want to see better quality cricket, which has been inconsistent. I must add, like there are some good games, but lot of cheap runs, lot of cheap wickets. Sometimes, it's not been the greatest quality of cricket. I can add sometimes, but
In fact, I was about to say that some of
yeah,
the performances are pretty
no,
pathetic. At
seriously,
that
yeah,
level, I expected a little bit more.
exactly, yeah,
For death over bowling. I mean, it is not. I expect a little bit more from those people because that's
yeah,
what they do for a living.
yeah,
And some of the hittings, the way they really go all the way to the away from the leg stump to hit something, everything is predetermined before
exactly,
the ball is being running a leg.
yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe there is something that I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think it has its own negatives. You cannot do that.
Hopefully, as other conspiracy theorists might say, I hope the results are not predetermined, but you know but I would like to make a bold prediction for this week, at least as of today's standing. I think we can draw a thick line between number 4 and 5 and say they are not going to cross the line. No team is crossing the line. The ordering might change, but I think we already know who's the top 4 are and the bottom 4 are. But I mean, yeah, things can change. Let's see what happens next week. But I feel it's Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and Kolkata are fixed for top 4.
I know
But
they are metropolitan cities, but doesn't mean they have to go.
yeah. Well, I mean, true. But yeah, I mean, Chennai is supposed to be the official metro south, metro from south. But yeah, but this time, yeah, like you said, I think there's something in Delhi and Bangalore that is making them go that extra step. And just for the sake of an change, and this is 2020, so I would expect Bangalore and Delhi in finals, but that's too much.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, let's see. But yeah, I think top 4 is locked from my perspective.
Yeah, good. At least something. Aidappa.
Okay. Anything else before we conclude? Are we done?
I think 7:40 almost. So
Cool. Thank you so
now,
much.
next to one there point. Hey, and also I was thinking the other thing which I want to say is we need to stay focused. Like if we have an agenda, let's stay focused on that.
Hold on. Yeah. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week, and feel free to leave comments.